Alright guys, as you know I got the wires here. This is the wires from the connector that ran, I can put the pedal and all that stuff under. While I'm trying to wire in the OB2 port. Here we go. Alright, the OB2 port. We have the two data connectors, we have the power, and the two grounds. Alright, well figuring it would be here also. It is, but as I'm going from the computer harness trying to come back here, it's not working, and I figured out why. I had to strip all this wire out and figure out, see the twisted wire? This is your CAN bus wires. On a Gen 4 newer, you have CAN bus. It runs from this to that to this to that, and everything has to be connected. So as I ran it on down and figure out where it went, this is the T42 transmission connector. Now it runs from here to the transmission and then back. That I didn't know. Now I do. So as I test, just like I did with the pedal harness, for these two wires right here that came out of that X connector that goes into the cab, as I was trying to find it, I couldn't find it. But watch this. Now it's 27 and 28. All right, let's do this. Here we go. All right, 27 and 8, and 27, right there. As I started going through the transmission plug, it's kind of hard to do with one hand on this one and one hand on this one. But watch this. It goes to the transmission plug from here. It goes from here to the transmission, and then from the transmission to here. On the CAN bus, it's going to go from this connector to that connector to that connector and then into the vehicle. Now I can go from here to here. Now I don't need to do that because I'm not using this as garbage. So I just need to pull the wires off of here that are literally going to here, right here, to the transmission harness, cut it, and then I can connect it straight to my port. This runs straight to the harness here. That's all I need. I don't need the transmission plug. I'm not using this harness. It doesn't matter. But being it runs from the computer to the transmission and then into the cab, it caused me a problem. I don't need this. So I need to pull the wires that go from this to this, cut it, and then these two wires go right here. I can bypass this. I don't need this. I'm just trying to hook up the OB2 port so I can run the scanner so I can start the engine. That's all I need to do. I don't need this. I'm not going to run this in the car. I'm not running the whole harness in the car. I just want to start it up on the engine stand. So where it goes from the computer to here, I just need to connect it here, and then the OB2 port will work. That's all I got to do. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. When you're dealing with CAN bus, it runs from one computer to the next connector, to the next connector, to the next connector, to the next connector. It's all linked together. Remember that. If you can't get a signal somewhere, it may be connected elsewhere. I was going from the computer connector to the wires into the cab, and it didn't go there. It went from the computer to the transmission connector, which is the T42 connector, and then into the cab. I don't need that, so I got to cut the wires off of there and connect it straight to my OBD harness, so it'll work off of the computer straight into the OBD. Hope you understand that. If you don't, I'm not a very good explainer. Sorry. Wish I could do better. All right. Anyway, deuces. Okay, I took the wires from the computer, fished it back to the transmission harness, figured out which ones they were, and I cut them. I don't need this, so it doesn't matter. I need to connect the OB2 port directly to the computer. So here we go. This is what we're doing. Now I can get the correct one. Strip there. Strip there. There we go. Now I get 2728 for here. Now I need 27 for this one. So when you deal with Gen 4, it's so different. I know this is scary. It's not. This is the computer. This is the harness I need to hook to here. None of this matters. So, all right. Go to 27. Go to 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Right there. All right. 27. Which should be this one. Alright, there we go. Alright. I need the tan one. Now as you can see, the aftermarket one is light tan and white. Now the solid tan goes to tan, and the tan with black goes to white. It's just how they did it. That's why I think you're dealing with aftermarket garbage. It works on Gen 3, it does not work on Gen 4. So let's connect these. Right here. I know this looks like a mess. It's not. It's actually pretty simple. I just know where everything's laying. All this stuff does not matter. I'm working right here off of this pin. Off this connector. And off of the... Where'd it go? Oh boy. It ran away with the spoon. There we go. The OBD2 connector, which is right here. That's all we're working with and all we care about. Everything else is a big mess. It doesn't matter. I know it's scary looking, but we're not messing with it. It doesn't matter. The rest of it is just garbage for now. Give it a little grunt, give it a little tug. There we go. All right, where'd you go? Oh, there we go. Let's pull it out of here. Number 27 is the one we're dealing with. Which is the white one. Let me tell you something. Wiring scares the bejesus out of me. I hate wiring. But if I can actually read this and understand it, the way I have it laid out, I'm dealing with the computer connector, the connector that goes into the vehicle. That's all I'm worried about. That way I can wire up the pedal, I can wire up the OBD2 port, and then I can drop it on the engine. That's all I care about. The rest of this stuff, it looks all confusing. None of that matters. None of it. Does not matter. All I want to do is be able to plug the OBD2 port into my HP tuners. I want to plug my HP tuners port into the ECU to the laptop and be able to read it, and that's all I care about. And I have my pedal so I can control my throttle body. That's all I'm working on. Right now this looks ridiculous and scary and it's all corrupt, and no, I'm dealing with one pin, one plug. There we go. There we go. That's it. Computer. OBD2. Right here. That's it. These wires right here is all I care about. The rest of this stuff is laid out. It looks scary. I know it does. It's scaring me. But I know I'm not dealing with any of that. All that lays on the engine does not matter. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not pinning it. I'm not doing anything to it. I am wiring up the OBD port. That's all we need to do. So if you actually look at it and say, this is what I'm doing, I ain't doing nothing else, the rest of that does not matter, it's not so scary. When you deal with wiring and stuff, it's scary. It is for me. Wiring makes me panic. I don't like it. But when you look at it and you understand this is all I'm doing right here, all this doesn't matter, then it's not so scary. I should have brought out a heat gun instead of playing with the lighter, but I didn't want to go through all that. Yeah, I'm lazy. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yep. I literally had to open up all this. I had to take the loom off all this to find out where this wire was going. And then I found out that this wire went to the plug, and then it came out of the plug right here and came to here. It came to right here. Well, being I'm not plugging anything in, there's not going to be going anything. There's not going to be anything going there and coming back. I can't use it. So I'm hooking this directly to this. I am bypassing this. I don't need it. There's nothing there. It's garbage. Basura. Basura. Right. Then we'll plug these two together. And then that's good. Now we got to do power right here and ground. And the OB2 port is ready. And we're going to get this harness on that engine and get moving. We gonna get moving. We gonna get moving. I'm hoping it'll pop off tonight. I don't know. I'm trying. But it's already 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast. I'm not trying to piss my neighbors off. I mean, we've had some really good neighbors just moved in over the years. We got some new neighbors. And so far, they're really good people. They're older people. They try to keep the dogs from barking and all that. They start barking, we bring them right back in the house. You know, we try to be good neighbors. We're really good. We don't want to cause problems with anybody. We've always done that. We've never had a single complaint from our dogs. So as soon as they go, whoa, whoa, we bring them in. They're right in the house. I don't listen to the damn dog bark. Nobody else does. I can't stand the dog that won't shut up, which I have one of them that does that. Well, now I got two. The puppy started to do it as well, but it's fine. I deal with it. Don't like it. I can't stand the dog that won't shut up. Give a little grunt. Look. Tug, 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 tug. There you go. All right, we got a good connection. All right, now we got to hook power and ground to it, and we got OBD. Now the power needs to be key on. So we're going to hook that to key on. That way when we hook power to it, the OBD2 port lights up. I still have to hook up the check engine light to this harness because I cut it off the other harness. That way when we power it up, the check engine light comes on, which probably doesn't matter. I'm not really using it. Don't care. All right. Now, we got this one. Got this one. All right. We're going to tape this up to keep it from getting loosey-goosey, acting stupid. We don't want it all loose and acting a fool. You know what I mean? What I mean, Mark? Don't need Mark. There we go. Get some tapage on here. Keep everything nice and taut. There we go. Okay. Now, got this. We got this. Now we got the power and ground to this, which I'll probably do once we mount it to the vehicle. These wires, I'm going to cut them off so we ain't got to worry about them arcing on anything. It goes to stuff in the vehicle that we're not going to use. So, just don't want them arcing. There you go. All right. We got some wires here. It goes to the pedal. It's a pedal wire. It's the OB2 port. I got the power to it. When we plug it in, it comes on. And I got to hook some grounds up. We'll get some groundage going. I'll probably hook it to the front of the head with everything else. Nope. Nope. Right. Nope. Now. Now, I got to swap the harnesses to that. So, we'll be back. Alright guys. We're going to hook ignition up. Already got the main power here. It's on the rig. Now, on here, it shows. Wait, let's go here. Alright, on the fuse box, this is what we did last time we were running it. Number 56, you can see it, is ECM ignition, number 56, which is right here. See 56? Now, when we put power to it, everything came on. So, number 56 was right. Where is the Okay. Number 56 was this fuse right here. Now, when Jonathan would put power to this side, the throttle body and everything would come on. So, what we're going to do is this pin right here, we're going to put ignition power to it. I have a pin here, we're going to put on there. So, what we need to do is add a wire to it that I can connect. So, we're going to add this to it. This is how you do it. Alright, let's put some power to it. Now this is a pinned one of the Millie box I came up with. So let's get this in here. There we go. See, it fits. Now let's give her a little crimpage. I don't have the right tool for this, so we're gonna manhandle it and see what we can do. Right. Go. There we go. Oh! Yeah, I know this is ghetto, but if it works, who cares? If you grunt when you squeeze it, look. Look. Now, when we plug this on here, dunk, I can actually hook the clamps on it, and it'll get out the ignition on. Now, we need to find the proper pin. Now, number 56 is right here. See it? That's 56, that's ignition on for the ECU. Now, Jonathan would put power to this side and it would activate everything. So, we're going to flip it over That's these two pins right here. All right, we're gonna put power to this side, which is gonna be this one. All right, right here. This is gonna be the power to that one. Oh, see, you got power to it. And make sure it plugs in decent. All right, there you go. See, got power. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna crimp this a little tighter. That way when it grabs, it stays grabbed. Just give it a little squeeze. There we go. That way it will stay on there. So it's this pin right here. Ignition for the ECU. Oh, there we go. Look, got a little power. Got a little stretch to it. Now, I have a gator clip for the ignition. When I plug it on here, it'll go, and it should fire everything up. All right. I know it's a jury rig, but that's what we're doing. That's all we need to do. All right, let's get this back on here. Keep everything nice and taut. All right, here we go. Remember, this is just a startup on the stand. We're just getting it going. That's all we want to do. So number 56 was ignition ECU. That will power the ECU. Jonathan would actually take the probe, his expensive ass probe he's got here. Let me show you. That night we were playing with it, we would take this probe. A lot of people don't know what this is, but this thing will actually do power, ground, and everything else. And he would literally touch this side of the fuse. So he actually take it and touch this side of the fuse, and the throttle body would come on, the relays get put on, everything would fire off. Now, most people don't know, even though the pins are sticking through, stuff runs through here. If you power something, it'll shoot power through it. So I'm going to use that as my ignition on for the ECU. And that's how we're going to do it. So what I'm going to do right now, you guys are not going to want to see. I'm going to pull the old harness, the old new harness off, and I'm going to put this harness on the engine, button everything down, get all the ground set, get everything lit up. The battery is charged. It's after 10 o'clock at night, so I'm probably going to piss off my neighbors. So we're going to see. So deuces.